Hey, my loves, it's your plant-based fitness coach, Rashida Joy, and your herbalist. And today's video is all about why I started Verdure Herbs. Verdure Herbs. Sometimes people say Verdure, but it's Verdure Herbs. And I'm going to give you a little story on why I started, how I got started in this business, how I went about learning about herbs, and just give you a little insight on my brand, Verdure Herbs. Okay, so let's start with how I even got into herbs, how I was introduced to herbs, what made me want to go into a business with herbs. Start with my mother. My mother, her name was Faith. She went by Faith. Her name was Sheila, and she taught me about herbs. Really got introduced to herbs is when my mother was diagnosed with colon cancer, and she said, I've read up on these doctors. I've read about Dr. Sabi, and I've heard that if you transition eating a alkaline, plant-based diet, you can heal your body. And I was really not really wanting to hear it. I've told the story so many times. I really wasn't trying to hear it. Back then, I was in the military. My mother was diagnosed with this disease that they're saying is really dangerous. And I was like, you need to just go to the doctor, go get healed, go get the Western medicine. And that was kind of how I felt about it. But through her experience and her studying, it led me to learn a lot more about different kinds of herbs and how they can actually heal the body and cleanse the body and replenish the body through a lot of the foods that we eat. I mean, she taught me everything about why we should use herbs instead of Western medicine. Let me correct myself real quick. I don't necessarily believe it should be instead of. I believe that you should use herbs, diet, exercise in addition to westernized medicine if you're sick already. And we know that prevention is the best cure. So if you're trying to prevent illness, prevent disease in your body, diet, exercise, herbs, therapy, all these things will help prevent illnesses. So I want to clear that up. Back to the show. So that's where it started. Like that's who and how I got introduced into using herbs. So, my mother had this diagnosis of colon cancer, and she wanted to use a holistic route for healing. So, we came to Los Angeles. This is probably 2010, and I'm in Los Angeles right now, actually. And we met with a lot of famous holistic practitioners. You may know Dr. Sabi and his daughter. We met at the store that he has here in Los Angeles. And he gave us a lot of information about food, yes, herbs, yes, but a lot to do about lifestyle. So we were able to take some classes and see and understand how herbs can help along with a healthy diet. And learning that is how I got introduced to herbs. And again, this all came from my mother. But when it came time to buy the herbs, they were really expensive. They were really expensive. And now hindsight is always 2020. I would have paid anything to get my mother healed. But during the process, the herbs were really expensive and we thought we couldn't afford them. And I always say I thought because like I said, if you learn the power of herbs, you would pay the money because it doesn't compare to chemotherapy or hospital bills or any of those things. But we didn't have the money to pay for the herbs. So we left Los Angeles with education and knowledge, but no herbs. Okay, so you guys, we left Los Angeles with no herbs. Okay, we knew about how to eat plant-based. We started learning, getting recipes and things like that, but we did not have any herbs. Nope, no herbs. You guys may know me as a fitness coach and fitness trainer, and I've trained lots of people over many, many years. And I always found that there was a missing piece, and not just nutrition, right? Because sometimes you can eat, not even sometimes, most people go on diets to lose weight, but they haven't developed a way of living, a lifestyle that keeps them healthy and not just, for weight loss, but for disease prevention. So I ended up kind of making the gym, making fitness the secondary portion of my business, because I felt like with my purpose, with my mother, you know, passing away from cancer, that nutrition and lifestyle needed to be at the forefront of our life. What we think about, how much we sleep, the foods that we eat, the vitamins, the minerals, the nutrients that we're getting in our food that also give us longer life. Okay. So you guys know my business is Pretty Pumped Fitness, and I've had the business for a long time, and I absolutely love training women. I feel like, you've heard the saying, nutrition is 80% and fitness is 20%. I really do stand behind that. And that's how I treat my business: nutrition 80% and fitness 20%. So you see a lot more content, a lot more of me talking about what I'm eating, where I'm eating, how I'm eating on the go, what foods I meal prep, what foods you should eat, what foods you shouldn't eat. Because I definitely believe that that is what needs to be in front for our health, for our healing. As I grew in my business, I started finding the connection between fibroids, endometriosis, painful periods, um, PCOS. I started seeing all these correlations that were happening to women. And just like a lot of women that have breast cancer and colon cancer, they either start with some type of iron deficiency, fibroids. There's always something that kind of starts or triggers these illnesses. So I became familiar with the herbs that would help with iron deficiency, help with period pain, and how to make, your period lighter, along with changing what you eat. And I started making my own herbs, you guys. Like, I started buying them wholesale and just like mixing them up in a bowl in my own kitchen. And I was able to send them to my clients, right? My clients that I work with all over the world. I was able to ship them herbs that they would do to detox their body, to get rid of parasites, to get rid of worms, and detox their body through the blends I was making. And they were finding and making great results. Now, it's crazy how the internet is, right? But through me making all these videos, showing people how to use herbs, what herbs do what, someone reached out to me and said, "Hey, I see you're doing great work. Do you want to start your own herbal business?" And I was like, "Yeah, I just don't know how." Look at God. I was connected to the same master herbalist 30 years that me and my mother went to 15 years ago, that we could not afford their herbs. You hear me? Okay. The same herbalists where we were like, "Oh, we got to pass because they were too expensive." I was connected to that same herbalist to create my brand. Look at God. Now it's a little bit more affordable because it's not as exclusive as it once was, right? But if you need the herbs, you need the formulas to be actually to able to heal your body, I have them for you guys. Okay. And also the coaching is a really big part of it, because you can take a lot of the herbs and herbs will help, but it's really about lifestyle. It's about letting go of stress, letting go of pains and traumas, and being able to forgive, and being able to get sunlight, and, moving your body, being active. That's really a lot of the healing, along with the herbs and the food and all the other great things that happen when you transition to eating whole food, plant-based, incorporating herbs into your diet. That's where the magic happens. So I want to thank you guys for watching my video. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Let me know what introduced you to herbs and how you're enjoying it, what you have questions about. I'm really here to help you guys. Please interact with my videos. I love it. I'll see you guys in the next video. There'll also be a discount code below in this video as well. So I'll see you guys soon.